Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's Lori with Simple Suburban Homestead. I wanted to show you guys and tell you that we are making strawberry jam from fresh strawberries. We got 3 flats today from a strawberry farm, local, and we're going to make jam. So I'm going to walk you through the whole process that I do and how I make it, and I hope you enjoy it. I'll be back shortly. Okay guys, I'm back. Okay, so with our fresh strawberries, my recipe calls for 12 cups of chopped strawberries. So I washed them all and I took all the greens off. One thing that I do, I have gotten into dehydrating, and so I like to save all the tops, anything green like this, to make dehydrated greens. Last week I did it with kale and collards and strawberry tops, or the greens off the strawberries. However, with this many strawberries, I'm going to have a lot more strawberry greens. I am going to wash these really, really well and pick through them because there was a lot more sand on these berries. The greens that I made out of the kale and the collards, I turned into a powder, and you can mix them into everything, eggs, anything, brownies, anything you want to give yourself extra nutrients. So that's a bonus. So we'll be doing that with those. Anyway, my recipe for the jam calls for 12 cups of diced strawberries, 3.5 cups of sugar, which I already measured out, which looks like a lot of sugar and is, but these particular strawberries are very tart. And 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now we will cook these until they reach 220 degrees. We will use an immersion blender to blend them, and then at the very end I will add a pat of butter. And the pat of butter really makes them creamy, makes the jelly creamy. And I don't add pectins or anything else. So our jellies and jams are a little bit loose, but they're really good. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna put this onto the stovetop and get it cooking, and I will bring you back shortly. Okay guys, one more thing real fast. We are going to water bath can these strawberry jams. We're not going to pressure can them. With certain jellies and jams, you can water bath. The more acidic foods like tomatoes, tomato sauces, that type of stuff doesn't have to be pressure canned. It can be water bathed. But we're still going to go about it the same as we would for pressure canning. So we're going to take our jars, and our water bather will hold 8 quarts or pints, and we're going to go with pints for the jams. And these have been stored. They've all been previously washed, and I just went over them real fast with some warm water, and I felt my tops of them just to make sure they didn't have anything on them, you know, from previous uses. They're going to go into the oven at 180 degrees for 10 minutes. While these are cooking, and you can leave them in the oven as long as you want. I'll probably take them out because it's going to be a little while before our jam is ready. While that's going on, or a little bit closer to time before the jam is done, we're going to warm the amount of lids that we need. Now, the bell lids, or the ball lids, I'm sorry, they don't, these days, the pressure canning family groups, they say you don't have to heat the lids. So it used to be you had to boil them for so many minutes, and that got the rubber on the back of them soft enough so that they would get a better seal to the top of your jars. Well, now they're not recommending doing that. I still like to do it myself. I don't boil it. I bring my water to a boil, and then I turn it off, and I add the amount of lids that I'm going to need for that particular canning experience. So I'm thinking with my 12 cups of strawberries, I'm probably only going to get about 6 pints. Last year we used jelly jars, and so we got a few more than what I'm anticipating getting. We still have a ton of berries to clean, and so tomorrow we'll probably do more. I'll probably go ahead and clean them, cut them, and get them refrigerated tonight, and then tomorrow we'll do more after church. So I'm going to get these in the oven so that they are sterilized and ready to go. And then after a little bit longer, I'm going to get the amount of the amount of lids that I'm going to need into water that has been boiled so that they can just sit and soften for a little while. The other thing is your rings. You're going to want to make sure you have clean rings. A lot of people say you can use them even if they're rusty. You want to make sure that they're going to get a good seal onto your jar. And so I don't tend to use rusty rings. I also wash them every time that I use them, and I let them dry really, really well before I put them back away. So anyway, we're going to go through, make sure we have good clean rings, and get these in the oven and stir our berries, and I'll get back with you shortly. Okay, so our strawberry jam is ready to go. We got it to 220 degrees, and I just took my jars out of the oven. And so I'm gonna grab my ladle, and a couple things we're gonna do. Please do excuse the background of the chicken. It dried at dinner time, or the kitchen, I'm sorry. It dried at dinner time, and so everything's kind of a mess. Some of the things you're going to want to have on hand is I like to keep white distilled vinegar to use to clean the tops of my jars after I filled them. And I'm going to drop my lids into here. I'm going to go ahead and put 4 of the lids. Where did I put those lids? Oh, here they are. I'm going to go ahead and put 4 lids, and actually I'm going to put 6. My water's hot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've already cut another 12 cups of berries, so those are ready for tomorrow's go at it. I did have to change my pot because I started bubbling over, and so that made a huge mess. But all in the fun of it, that's for sure. Okay, so now all we're gonna do is fill our jars to a 1-inch headspace, which means we're gonna take our jar, we're gonna fill our jams. Oh my gosh, y'all, this is beautiful. We decided on this batch not to puree or use the immersion blender at all so that we could have more chunks in this. And this is so pretty. Wow, I'm tickled. And like I said last year, I used smaller jars, so I may not have quite as much. And all you do to clean your rims of your jar is you just take, some people use the vinegar, and some people just use a damp paper towel. But you want to make sure there's no residue that's going to keep your lids from sealing. Whoops. Then we're just going to put a lid on, and we're going to ring it. And you only want to put your rings on about finger tight. You don't want it more than that. I'm going to move this one out of the way and start the next one. Super simple, lots of fun. It doesn't look like there's much jam in here because of the pot being so big. But hopefully I'll at least get 4 pints out of this. not debubbling the jelly. A lot of times, well, with almost everything that we can, we debubble to get the bubbles out. But with the jelly, it's pretty much, there's not really anything in it to debubble. So there we go, there's 2. So I have my my water bath going so that the water's warm, because this is hot. My glass jars just came out. If you ever water bath something that, of course, your jars aren't hot and you don't have hot product going in, then you can put your jars in at room temperature and bring everything up to heat or to boiling. But with this being hot, the jars being hot, the water needs to be hot. So that's going, and I did use hot tap to get it into there. So that's going, so that's going to be good and hot. I'm going to put my jars in, I'm going to bring it to a boil, and I'm going to boil it for 15 minutes. And then I turn the heat off and I let it set for 5 more minutes before I remove them from the water bath. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. Just going to quickly get these guys into the water bath and hopefully get up to temp and get this show on the road. I'll show you when we're finished. This here is what my water bath looks like. It's just the big water bath pot with the lid. And I ended up with 4 pints, not quite a full 4th of jam. So I went ahead and put 4 additional jars in here to take space so that once they start boiling, the ones with the jam in them don't go bubbling all over the place and move around. Everything is covered in water. I may go ahead and add like another 4-cup measuring cup to bring it up a little bit more. And once they come to a boil, which the water's starting to bubble now just a little bit, but once they come to a good hard boil, we'll boil them for 15 minutes. Okay guys, this is it. I'm gonna pull them. I'm gonna pull the jellies out of the water bath and show you what we've come up with. Oh my goodness, they're so pretty. There's one. Now the one that isn't full will not go onto the shelf. It will go into my refrigerator to be used first. Oh, that one popped. Did you hear it? That's a lovely sound. Lovely sound. This little guy right here is going to go in the refrigerator. There's our 4. Even if it seals, it's still going to go in the refrigerator because it's not full. And I know I was supposed to take it to the 1-inch headspace. They look so good. I hope you guys can see just how good they look. Hang on one second. Let me see if I can do something real fast. Maybe if I hold this behind it, you can get a good shot of it. They're beautiful. And I did go ahead and chop up enough to make 2 more batches. So tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and put those in the refrigerator tonight, and tomorrow we'll have 8, oh, there went another one. It's like Christmas morning when you hear that ping. But we'll have enough to make 8 more pints. And if for some reason I run a little bit low and I wasn't even thinking about it with the smaller jar, I have the little jelly jars, and I went ahead and got those out so I can make sure they're good and clean, just in case I end up with another piece that's not enough to make a full pint. But we eat it really quick, so it tends to work out well for us to do the pints. This is so good without the pectin in it because it's not thick like a jam. So you can put it on ice cream, you can put it on cake. It's really, really good. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for, oh, there went another one. Thank you so much for joining and for watching my channel. If you liked it, hit like, subscribe, share. I appreciate it. I love getting content out. I love letting people know that you can live in a neighborhood and you can still do things. You don't have to have a big piece of land to do things to provide for your family. I collected 10 quail eggs today from my brand new little layers. Those girls are doing wonderful. I collected 10 this morning and I haven't checked this afternoon. So there's probably a couple more out there. Quail are doing great. Meat birds are getting big. We'll take a tour and see. Whoop, there we went. All 4 of them sealed. That means they are all good to go onto the shelf, except the one that's not full. He'll go in the refrigerator. But anyway, guys, we'll take a little tour maybe tomorrow and look and see how big our meat birds are getting. And they should be ready to process mid-April. And how our little garden's growing. We're not getting any vegetables yet, but they are beautiful. The plants are just gorgeous. I'm so tickled. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. God bless, and thanks again for joining me. Until next time.